Welcome, everyone. We're going to call this meeting to order. It is Monday, September 22nd at 4:45. We're at the Arvin Education Center for our regularly scheduled board meeting. At this time, we need to approve the agenda. Ms. Harrell, do we have any changes to the agenda?
Yes, I need to make an amendment to the agenda. If you notice that item 13 are action items, if we could just move that up to be number 10 and then shift down. That would be
Everybody
the
good with
only.
that? Yes. Okay. Can I get a motion to approve? Made by Ms. Henley, seconded by Ms. Sheffer. All those in favor? And that's 5-0. At this time, if everyone could please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, we're going to start off with our instructional session tonight. We have Kelly, where is
Miss Kelly from
Kelly, if you could come on up, please. Sorry, I didn't see you back there. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. It's nice to see you guys.
Thanks for coming.
Don't do karaoke on Friday night, so pull that closer. I have a couple slides to update you all on the South Oldham High School project. It's such an important project for your community, and I think it's really great to highlight what great stewards the districts have been with their financial resources. I think they might be able to broaden, I think. Great. So just moving up. Great. On slide 1, so this is the summary of the finance plan and the BG for the South Oldham High School financing. Right now, we're estimating to sell about $109 million of local bonds. So when the district sells bond issues, you have to sell them competitively. What that means is you actually put them to the market and you award the issue to the lowest interest rate. So that actually will occur tomorrow. The bond issue is all local. Again, one of the reasons we don't have SFCC or state support is that's funded on need-based. The project deposit is around $107.8 million. That includes 5% contingency funds, which contingency funds are required by the Kentucky Department of Education. If the contingency funds are not used, you'll actually be able to use those on other projects. The cost of issuance is around $2.2 million right now. Any cost of issuance will be determined after the bond sale. The primary cost of issuance is the underwriter who actually locks in your borrowing rate for the financing. One of the things your district has been really strong about is paying back principal quickly. So in the far column on the right, is the existing debt service of your annual debt service payment. So right now in fiscal year 26, you have about 19.3 of annual payments due. You can see in the middle column, we're actually layering in the new South Oldham High School project to amortize debt quickly as possible while all protecting capacity for future projects. The school district is a leader as far as your commitment to facilities, and that's why you've been able to address so many projects so quickly while keeping healthy capacity available and also refinancing debt when the interest rates are lower in the capital markets. Any questions on that finance plan for the South Oldham? So the next is the timeline for the project. At the August meeting, the board approved the BG1 for the South Oldham High School project. At this meeting, the board is actually taking the action item on approving the financing related to the project. Tomorrow, the bond issue will actually be sold, where you'll lock in interest rates at 10:30. It's similar to like an eBay where you only have a certain amount of time to submit the bid. Then on October 14th, you will actually close the issue. That's when the funds will be available. A couple dates to highlight is last week was the Fed meeting. So on the 17th, the Fed lowered short-term rates 0.25%. That was what was expected, so it's already locked in and kind of baked into the current borrowing rate. We have not seen rates change since last Wednesday. Believe it or not, our market's closed basically steady every day since last week. The Fed meets again late October, but that obviously is too far ahead to lock in the financing for the South Oldham project. Any questions on the timeline? I think this is a really important slide for you guys. As I mentioned, you all have been great stewards of your resources. So Oldham County is a leader as far as their commitment for facilities. Of your local tax rate, 20 cents is committed to facilities or debt service only. Those are restricted funds. And about 4 years ago, the state recognized this district's commitment and equalized all 4 of your what we call local nickels. And with a caveat with that recognition is that they want you to use that money or you lose it. So right now in the last budget session, the General Assembly gave you 20 years to realize those savings. Basically, you get 20 years of funds. And so your district has taken full use of those funds. Restricted funds are money to your building fund and capital outlay fund. You've been able to address projects at your preschool, the middle school lab, SIM lab projects. You've done site improvements at various elementary schools. You've done stadium work. You've done improvements to the Buckner High School, Oldham County High School, and this most recent project will address the South Oldham High School project. I think it speaks to your commitment to reach every kid in the community. You've done educational, athletics, and you've done preschool, every age, elementary, middle school. Most school districts are faced with only having a finite amount of capacity, and they can really only address roofs or HVACs, and really can't get this full picture to touch all of your kids of your community. But I think it just shows how you've been stewards and maximized all of your resources that can only be used for facilities. Money to your building fund is not available for operations or to cover utility bills. It's simply available to cover debt service or pay for capital projects. The last slide is just to highlight the real strengths of the school district and what leader have you been in the state. So on the first point is a sound and balanced operations. The school district has been able to navigate what we would call a high-cost inflationary environment. We've seen unprecedented inflation post-COVID. Many school districts are having trouble balancing budgets, but you all with higher utility costs, property insurance, and what have you, you're able to still match revenue and expenses, and that's not something we're seeing across the country or in Kentucky. A term in our world that we've thrown around a lot is the COVID cliff. And the COVID cliff is where a lot of folks have been relying on, or borrowers have been relying on COVID dollars to kind of balance budgets, and really we're seeing that kind of come to fruition in tougher times, and that's not a concern for Oldham County School Districts. It shows the strong fiscal management that you guys have maintained pre-COVID and now post-COVID several years. So another highlight and strength of the district is the strategic debt management and capital planning. You've been able to pay back debt quicker. The last 2 issues we did were 16-year issues and 18. This current bond issue for the South Oldham is about 19 and a half years. Given the size and the timing, it's important to give plenty of capacity for other projects, but not many districts can pay debt back in the time that you all have done, how quickly. You will also use your restricted capital outlay fund, so that's money from the state as well, to only pay for cash projects. So you focus that money to technology purchases or other cash projects instead of borrowing. So when you borrow money, you want to borrow for assets that have a long useful life. Technology or maybe carpeting or paving or short useful life. And with your team, with Mr. Bohannon, you've been able to identify, and Ms. Alexander, projects that make sense to pay for cash versus to borrow for them. That leads into another part, is your finance and facility teams. On your South Oldham High School project, you all got wonderful construction bids, and I think that speaks to the volume of your leadership and facility team. You also have a great finance team. Right now, I'd say for Ms. Alexander, it's basically like Christmas, Thanksgiving, Derby, and all of her kids' birthday in 1 week, in like 1 month, because she's closed out a fiscal year, she's preparing, she's going through an audit, she's working through a working budget, and she set tax rates in the middle of that. So it's kind of a lot to juggle, and I would say, given your facilities team, there's a lot of projects going on, and to handle those so seamlessly shows the strength of your team and leadership. The other piece to highlight is your conservative fiscal management and budgeting. So cash reserves are huge when you talk about an organization, and a lot of people think about reserves as far as what balance you have on your close of your fiscal year, and that's June 30th for the school district. But June 30th is not the date that really matters, because you've got to operate July, August, September, October, and November before you get a lot of your tax money. So understanding the cash flow of the school district is extremely important, especially when you have a lot of expenses. And we're seeing that to be a stressing point across the state. One of the highlights of Ms. Alexander and her team was the comprehensive budgeting process. I believe she meets with each department, understands what they need, and really budgets to takes a real full comprehensive approach, and that's a strength of the school district. Finally, to highlight the school district is you all are a premier credit of the Commonwealth. You have what's called a AA2 rating by Moody's. The highest is AAA. In the state of Kentucky, there's no more than 5 AAA credits. The University of Kentucky is AA. The state of Kentucky is AA2 as well. UK has begged the Moody's rating agency for a rating upgrade for 5 to 10 years, and it's very unusual to have a entity above your state rating. So I think what I'm saying is you're hitting at all levels you could. You probably couldn't get any higher than AA2. It just speaks to the strong financial strength of the district. Obviously, just like a credit score, the better your credit score, the lower your borrowing rate. So being that high rating means you will actually save money on your projects and pay less interest. On your last bond issue, you received 10 bids, which is significant. We have 8 bidders signed up for the South Oldham project, and I expect a couple more probably, maybe if the market stays steady the next couple days. But I think it's really important for you to know that there's a strong investing community wanting to buy Oldham County School District bond issue.
That's great.
A lot to cover.
Anybody have any questions for Kelly?
That's good.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on. Miss Alexander for the treasurer's report.
All right, I'm going to present the treasurer's report for the month of August. We're still in the first quarter of the fiscal year. This time of year that we have the lowest cash flow is in July, August, and September. We receive minimal receipts, and the bulk of our revenues we would expect that come in around early October, but most of them are in November, December, and January from our tax revenues. The first thing I'll point out is on report number 1, when you look at the receipts, you see we had $6.4 million in receipts, and then we had $13.9 million in disbursements, and that, of course, is due to the commencement of the school year in August and all the salary payouts. The ending balance, as you see, for all of the funds are $90.7 million. When you add that along with our bond and construction funds and our investment funds, you have the total amount of the cash and funds. If you look at report number 2, indicated in your package that shows the individual funds, it kind of just separates that with particular balances that come back to our total cash balance of $81.1 million, with $16.8 million in investments for a total liquid assets of over $98 million. If you look at report number 3, that's the historical actual comparison report. Again, revenues are down, which is typical at this time of the year. We're starting to pick up on our expenses, so you'll see those trends change over the next few months. We also received our first allocation of capital outlay funds and building fund equalization, and we will get the additional allocation from those from the state in the spring, as referenced on the bottom of that report. Also, I've included in your packet the historical actuals report, your balance sheet, and income statement for your review, and I present this report and ask if you have any questions.
Any questions? Can I get a motion to approve? Made by Ms. Sheffer, seconded by Mr. Cedillo. All those in favor? And that's 5-0. Thank you, Carrie. Next, we need to approve the meeting minutes from our regularly scheduled board meeting on August 25th. Any questions on those? Can I get a motion to approve? Made by Ms. Henley, seconded by Mr. Cedillo. All those in favor? And that's 5-0. And then moving along to personnel actions.
They are listed for the month of September as an attachment for your reference.
We'll take those under advisement. Consent items. Any questions on consent items? Can I get a motion to approve? Made by Ms. Henley, seconded by Ms. Sheffer. All those in favor? And that's 5-0. Next, we are moving to superintendent reports.
Yes, just some information for you to have. Standard 3, cultural leadership. You'll notice that when we approved my PGP in a previous meeting, that one's going to be specific to communication. And so we are also going to utilize that goal as a goal for our district level administrators and building level administrators to use for their PGP, is just to increase ways to communicate back to families and stakeholders. So that's just an FYI. Month 1 enrollment report is attached. I know Mr. Williams is right here to give us an update from last year enrollment, month 1 to this one.
How are you all this evening?
Good.
So as you can see in the report, at the end of the end of the first month, which was September 2nd of this year, we had 11,783 students. As compared to, we had 11,878 students last year, so we had a decrease of 95 students from the end of month 1 last year to the end of month 1 this year. And we were also, projections was off by, I over-projected by 35 students. And I am more than happy to answer any questions as it relates to that.
Any questions?
No.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Mr. Williams.
You're welcome.
Item C, the SBDM presentations to the board. I believe those dates have been set, but we will need to make some changes to those. And so I will come back to you all for projected dates on a couple of those that would need changes. That's okay.
Are we still doing the one per month, or?
It may, yes, I believe, was it at 2 a month? I believe it's 2 a month.
Why is it being changed?
I think there's a couple of conflicts
Okay,
with schools.
sounds good. So will those start in October or
I think November.
November?
It's not
November
supposed to be
6th?
October.
October, okay,
So I will come back to you with an update on that.
okay, sounds good.
And then item D is just the update to the policy form of restraint and seclusion. That form is attached, just so that you'll see that there was an update of that form to the policy.
Sounds good. Anybody have any questions on those? All right, we are jumping to action items.
Yes, first action item is the working budget, and that is attached from Ms. Alexander. Do you all have any questions for her?
Can I get a motion to approve? Made by Ms. Sheffer, seconded by Mr. Cedillo. All those in favor? And that's 5-0.
The second item is approval to the revision in the telecommunication device policy, and that was sent in for you all to review too, to make that.
Just that they can contact by email instead of,
Yes, parent communication doesn't have to be just phone call.
okay. Can I get a motion to approve? Made by Ms. Hunley, seconded by Mr. Cedillo. All those in favor? And that's 5-0.
And then item C is the bond resolution series.
Can I get a motion to approve? Made by Ms. Hunley, seconded by Ms. Sheffer. All those in favor? And that's 5-0. And then we're jumping back up to welcome Arvin Education Center
Yes,
for their
student
student
showcase.
showcase. Welcome.
Welcome. We're glad you're here at Arvin. My name's Matt Watkins. I'm the principal here. For those of you, I think all of you all know, but those of you in the back, or if you haven't heard from me, I have been given a tight timeline to introduce our teaching and learning pathway. They have timed it, they have rehearsed it, they have practiced it, as teachers are well planned and often over planned. So I'm already over my time, so I wrote down what I'm supposed to say to you. And those of you who've known me very long are very appreciative. Good evening on behalf of the 1,460 students attending the Arvin Center. I'd like to welcome you to a glimpse into the future, to the not-so-distant future, talent pool of homegrown teachers. Under the amazing instruction and leadership of the one and only Sarah Crisp, these are your future innovators of instruction of Oldham County Schools.
Good afternoon. I couldn't be happier to be with you guys and with these amazing students here today to share with you some of the exciting things that are happening in our teaching and learning pathway here at Arvin. We are growing both in size and also in our knowledge of the teaching profession, human development, best practice instruction, and just generally how schools work. Now, for the next 15 minutes or so, I would ask you to indulge us a little bit as we place you in an imaginary classroom and we teach a lesson. You are the students. Our teaching and learning students are your teachers. We thought about a pop quiz at the end, decided we would not go that route, so we will save you from that. But in alignment with best practice instruction, we will do a little synthesis activity at the end, and it's simple, we promise. And now, I'm very happy to introduce your teachers for the day. In our first year pathway, we have from Oldham High, Emmeline Orr, Annie Yoder, Abby Woofter, Riley Palmer, Sophia Maresca, and Addie Dement. From the North Campus, we have Riley Gilson. From our South Campus, we have Hattie Buckley, H.J. Merrimee, and Jay Cheshire, who is our Year 2 student. And now I'd like to bring up Emmeline to share our learning goals for this lesson.
Good afternoon, class. We have 3 important learning goals for our lesson today. They are, I can describe how the teaching and learning pathway works, I can describe the importance of the pathway, and I can synthesize what I have learned. We would like you to use the scratch paper and jot down things that stick out to you, such as describing the teaching and learning pathway, explaining why the pathway is important, and your thoughts about the pathway. We will ask you to come back to these notes later, and we will begin by giving you a snapshot. There are currently 4 dual credit classes in the teaching and learning pathway, which means students can earn up to 12 credit hours. The first class is EDTP 201, which is the class I'm in, and it focuses on the teaching profession as a whole. EDTP 215 centers on best practice instruction in lesson planning. EDTP 107 deals with the learning theory and human development. EDSP 240 introduces the future teachers to exceptional children, which is a new addition to the pathway this year. All of these pathways deal with field experience, which Andy will now talk about.
Hello, I'm here to talk about our field experiences. Every Tuesday and Thursday, us teaching and learning students go to different schools around the Oldham County School District, from preschool to high school and even YTP here at the Arvin Center. In this time, we get to know teachers, their students, but we also get to know ourselves as we learn our teaching philosophies, teaching methods we want to use, and the style of teaching that we want to use in the future. I love doing the field experiences because it helped me realize what age range I want to teach in the future, and I learned about real-world experiences and tips. We use these field experience for our hat project that Addie will now talk about. We do many projects and assessments that go beyond tests and quizzes. We hold Socratic seminars on current issues in education, hear from many guest speakers in different roles in education, and explore research and resources. In our educational stories, they are about who we are as learners and who we want to become as future teachers. This project encouraged us to make a timeline throughout our school years, highlight influential guides, describe a moment in our education when a concept clicked for us, and lastly, we created our own teaching philosophy while looking through the lens of a future teacher. In the theory-based teaching project, students designed a professional development session for teachers and a mini lesson plan based on one of the theory of human development, like behavioralism or Vygotsky's zone of proximal development. Our hallmark assessment task is our end-of-course assessment. In my class, the HAT is an 8 to 10 page ethnography on our field experience in our classroom. In 107, they will create a research-based teaching philosophy based on course content and field experiences. These projects have greatly impacted our teaching by creating a positive outlook on teaching and providing sources that further help educate what teaching is truly about. And now Hattie will come and talk about the importance of our pathway.
One reason why this pathway is important is the fact that we get college credit that is covered by the Work Ready Scholarship. We can earn 12 hours of credit at no cost, which helps both us and our families. Gaining credits early will allow us to get a jump start in our careers. Personally, I plan to use this early access to my future schooling by learning what I want to do through this class and our field experiences. That way, when college comes, I'll know what I want to do while also having the credits that will allow me to do so. I know you all are aware of the impacts of teacher shortages, and this pathway can be one way to promote and recruit the very best future teachers from our very own community. Passion is important when hiring teachers, so here are 2 students who would like to share their own passions and testimonials.
Hi, I'm H.J. Merrimee, and I would just like to ask you a question. Do you remember being in class and being distracted by that one kid that wouldn't sit still? Well, I was that one kid. And trust me, I couldn't focus either. Growing up with severe ADHD and anxiety set me apart from other kids and caused issues between me and my teachers. And when I say severe, I mean I wrote this speech today a few hours ago. Moving to private school for 6th and 7th grade didn't help this much, but when I came back to Oldham County Public Schools, my life changed. I met real friends and amazing teachers that will forever inspire me. When I saw this course, I thought about my past teachers and excitingly jumped right in. That decision was possibly the best decision I've ever made. The community and passion I've gained from this class will forever stay with me, and the confidence I've also gained from observing at South Oldham Middle School and group discussions in this class will forever help me with my career and future. My goal is to be a safe space for students and help those that learn in a non-traditional way with empathy as a teacher.
Hi, my name is Jay. I'm the second year teaching student, and I'm here to tell you how I've seen it. The biggest part is just the opportunity we get as teachers, future teachers, just to be in the classroom, be able to see how teachers deal with their students, how they're able to get them to be engaged in the classroom and create such a safe space for them to feel known, learned, and loved, to be able to come into a classroom and know that they're there not because they have to be, but because they want to be. To create that sense of intrinsic learning and intrinsic need to become a learner is what is just so powerful, being able to observe those classrooms, and especially coming in from an egocentric sophomore, junior, and becoming that more empathetical, understanding student and teacher is just powerful.
Hi, I'm Riley. The future of our pathway is very important to keep our program successful and growing. Through our field experiences, we get to spread the word of what teaching and learning is all about into those who would want to enter into this pathway. While we are placed in classrooms all around our district, we get to be the examples of what future teachers look like, and we hope to inspire the ones who want to come up after us. As you have heard about our wonderful courses, there's a possibility for an internship for our third-year students. This allows students to get fully involved in the classroom and get hands-on experience, which will help better their future in their own classroom. As a future educator, there are many resources available to help you become the most successful. Educators Rising is a teacher preparation program that is supported by the State Department of Education. This is with the purpose that leads to solutions within a district and creates a higher level of teaching quality. This club provides support for many, but we will specifically use it to further educate our middle and high school students. Ms. Chris hopes to start chapters for our middle and high school students across our district. Addressing the teacher shortage spoken of before, many districts have grow your own programs that encourage future teachers to return back to their district after they graduate. This is our ultimate goal of our pathway.
Gotta get my part right. So a couple things that we have been working on, excuse me, in the background. Sorry. Phew. Apparently we needed some rain, get rid of all that. So things like the third-year apprenticeship, right? There are ways for us to set kids up where they have an opportunity. We can start kids as early as a sophomore here. There are surrounding districts that have paid apprenticeships, and I would lean on us as we get into more conversations. I'm super excited about that conversation with Ms. Harold and district leadership, and of course you guys at some point in time as we get to that point. So that's one area. Another spot that us as principals can also work through is in such things as like a guaranteed interview. I think these kids are probably in for, I shouldn't say kids, these young people are in for, like, they're going to get to certain college classes and they'll be like, I got this. Like, Sarah Chris has already prepared me. I've already been in the classroom. I've already had some sound experiences with preschool, with elementary, with middle, and high school. So I want to make sure, like, they've got growth to come, but they're already getting out there and doing those things that a lot of us did not get to do until we were at the very end of our programming, right? And so that's going to be really important. Other things such as guaranteed student-teacher placement, like as soon as they are ready to get back into this district while they are in post-secondary, let's get them back inside these doors, and we should be able to offer that to kids who finish this pathway. Another one that would be very big is financial consideration, right? There are programs and people out there who are paying kids or paying young people, if you'll come work for us, we'll pay for you to go to school. If you want to be at a certain healthcare establishment, if you come work for them and guarantee them 2, 3, 5 years, they will help give you tuition assistance and things like that. And I think that is certainly something in our capacity to at least explore in some way. And then also, I would just invite you, there's a whole lot more to talk about on that, but I don't have time. Please, before you guys leave today, go down the back hallway here and you will see there my educational journey from each one of them, and that just is the first steps, right? That is the beginning. Most of these young people are in their very first year. At most, they're in their second year. So you can see how far they've already come, and just imagine where they'll be in 2 years.
Awesome.
Hello, well, we hope you can now, describe how the teaching and learning pathway works and what we learn, explain why the pathway is important to us and our district, and synthesize thoughts about the growth and promotion of our pathway. We learned that every effective lesson needs a moment of synthesis and closure in order to maximize learning. So we like to ask you to look at the notes you've taken during our lesson and circle one word that seems the most important or sums up what you have identified about the teaching and learning pathway here at Arvin. And now, class, we'd like you to go down the table, starting at this end, and share just the word you circled.
Recruit.
Oh, yeah.
That's what
Experiences.
Focus.
Homegrown.
Mine was recruit as well.
Recruitment.
Beautiful.
Friends, thank you so much for your sharing. We love hearing what you're taking away from this lesson. Thus, to deeply show our gratitude, here's Addie.
Thank you so much for your time and support of the Teaching and Learning Program pathway here at Arvin. As you can see, we feel very strongly about this pathway and the opportunities it provides for us. We'd like to invite you to schedule an appointment to come talk to our class anytime. Class is dismissed.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
If you guys have any questions, I can send any of them back up.
Great job.
It's really good.
awesome.
No,
Yeah.
no questions.
Amazing.
No questions, but just a comment on, one, just how well each of you did, to take the time to prepare and really put forth your best effort. That's just noted and appreciated. I feel like hearing from you tonight really reminds me of why I'm personally, involved. I met my wife during high school when she was, planning forward a plan for her life to be a teacher, and she eventually moved off to Texas A&M University to do that, and she became a teacher and was a teacher for a while, and then eventually, I think just was burned out because sometimes a lot of pressures, a lot of adults, a lot of people who make decisions can get in the way, frankly, of the role of what a teacher and a student, that interaction should be in a classroom. So no matter what people are planning to do at Oldham County schools and beyond, every one of them will be taught by a teacher. Whether it's a future engineer or future chemist, they'll all be taught by teachers. And so to have a program in place to where we can develop, recruit, retain, I hope you all are applicants in Oldham County schools here at the right time, and just wish you the very best. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Great job, you guys.
I do have a question. Once you all graduate, what's the time period of coming back?
Yes, I don't know that they. I need that microphone. The pathway can be as fast as roughly 2 years.
Okay.
Like through some conversation, discussion, I'm not sure that we want necessarily a 20-year-old or a kid who's just been out a year or something like that. And high school is so important to getting to enjoy what we have going on at our home high schools. So we don't want to take away from that and try to speed it up too quick. We have a ton of dual credit, like just if I talked about other Arvin things, but all of that programming is dual credit. There's 90% of our kids here taking a dual credit class. Could be in breaks, could be in a academic class. So sometimes we push kids too fast, and I think that we want to be slow but methodical, but also very intentional about making sure they are ready for these next steps as they go and not try to get it too quick. So I think that we're on the right track of that. And so 12 hours at the end of this, they got to get a pretty good number from, let's say, if the pathway continued at U of L, right? They've got quite a bit to do and probably at least 3 years out before they can do their student teaching.
Okay.
So if we could speed that up by 2 years, it feels like 21 is kind of that age where it feels much better. They wouldn't be back teaching with kids they were just in school with. If you speed them up too fast, a freshman's here and a senior's here, and now they're literally, potentially, if somebody got a fifth year, not that anybody would, But if somebody got a 5th year, right, they would be back. Yeah.
What year does the pathway start? As a freshman in high school, or what
So
year?
some places start this very, very early.
Okay.
We're trying to start it no sooner
They're
than a
juniors.
sophomore,
Okay.
so that we would get that 3rd-year apprenticeship / internship and push for that to be paid. And it would also give us help. Like, when they get done with their field experience, they're going to have a really good idea of where they want to go, right? Like, they're going to be ready to go to preschool. They're going to be ready to go elementary. We're giving them all across the board. We're kind of Arvin-fying the field experience and adding hours to it and trying to give them that experience so they see every level. There's a lot of them that walk in and say, I want this level. Our push is go see every level, because every level has great instruction, and you can pull that in to great instruction no matter where you end up. Yeah. So, okay?
Great.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Matt, for your brevity.
Next up, we are going to start recognitions.
The first is going to be the Ignite Passion Award. It recognizes individuals or groups that have demonstrated exceptional commitment and efforts in fostering passion and enthusiasm within Oldham County Schools. Recipients of the Ignite Passion Award are not merely achievers, they are catalysts for positive change, transforming the atmosphere and culture within their school or within the school district. These individuals or groups possess a unique ability to ignite the flames of inspiration within students, staff, families, or the community, encouraging others to pursue excellence and embrace their own passions. Throughout the year, different locations will be able to nominate someone who fits this description. This month, Locust Grove Elementary Award winner is scheduled for recognition. Locust Grove's Elementary Ignite Passion Award winner is Andrea Fisher. While Andrea previously taught STEM at another school, she is new to the role at Locust Grove this year. In just a few weeks' time, she has created an incredible buzz among the students around critical thinking and design challenges. In fact, one student was talking to her mom about a problem she was trying to solve at home and quoted the engineering process she learned from Ms. Fisher. Andrea Fisher has a gift for making STEM come alive for her students. She fills her classroom with hands-on projects, real-world connections, and creative challenges that spark curiosity and excitement. Andrea's energy and passion are contagious, and her students can't help but dive in and get inspired. Her enthusiasm and dedication make her a true role model. Andrea motivates students by fostering curiosity, encouraging perseverance, and showing that learning is both valuable and fun. Her efforts not only boost academic growth, but also spark a lasting love for discovery and problem solving. Andrea is a shining example of what it means to ignite passion in education, and her students benefit from her creativity and care every single day. Miss Andrea Fisher. Next up, we have the Oldham County Educational Foundation Pyramid Awards. The Oldham County Educational Foundation is here to recognize the 2025 Pyramid Award winners. To begin, please welcome Clint Cahoe from OCEF, who will share more information about the foundation and the history of the Pyramid Awards. Following that, John Wilkerson will announce this year's winners. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I'm pleased to be with you all tonight. I'm glad the students left so they don't show me up in their professionalism and how good they were at this. But how inspiring is that we're here tonight to award teachers an award for their innovation and their passion. And hopefully one day we'll see these same students, then teachers, and we'll be giving them some awards as well. As Ms. Harold said, I'm Clint Cahoe. I'm president of Baptist Health LaGrange, but I am one of the board members of the Oldham County Education Foundation, commonly referred to as OCEF. We have several OCEF board members who are glad to be with you today for us all to celebrate the wonderful teachers in our district who have applied for and received a Pyramid Award. The Oldham County Education Foundation fosters parent, community, and business support through fundraising to help enhance the educational experience of Oldham County school students. In other words, we raise funds to help meet the needs of our school district, which are not covered in the budget otherwise. Since 1989, OCEF has been raising money to support our school district. While we support many areas and needs within the schools, our keynote program is the Pyramid Awards. Pyramid Awards are grants of up to $1,250 per teacher or staff member to implement an engaging, innovative classroom project that funds do not exist to accomplish otherwise. In 2025, OCEF set a goal to break a record to the awards given to teachers, and we've done just that. And tonight, we are awarding $52,109 worth of awards to our teachers this year. So how does all this work? Teachers complete an application describing their project with a proposed budget. Applications with identifying school information such as names, mascots, otherwise, are unfortunately automatically disqualified so there is no bias in scoring. Names are removed from the applications, and then a group of OCEF board members then read the applications and score. Those projects with the highest scores are then selected for funding. To ensure as much funding goes towards the awards to the schools and for our students and for our teachers, we also sought additional sponsors specifically for tonight's Pyramid Award celebration. So we want to thank our sponsors, L&N Federal Credit Union, Weir Constructors, Ameriprise Financial, the Ash Group, Superior Dental Care, Symetra, and Voya Financial for your support to make this celebration occur tonight. Thank you to the school board and administrators for welcoming us here tonight and participating in the celebration of our teachers. We have several OCEF board members with us tonight who volunteer their time and efforts year-round so we can continue to meet our mission to elevate the educational experience. If you're a board member, please raise your hand to be recognized. Thank you. We all know that we have an outstanding school system made possible by our school board, our district administrators, our school administrators, teachers, and all of the staff at each of our schools. We want all of our teachers, not just the Pyramid Award winners, to know how valuable they are and how much they are truly appreciated by this community. But tonight, we get to celebrate and shine a spotlight on those who have earned a Pyramid Award. I will introduce a few of my fellow board member colleagues to the front for the awards ceremony. Mary Whittemore is our board president. John Wilkerson is a member of the board executive committee. And Sarah Stucker is our board treasurer. Ms. Harold and Ms. Clem, if you would like to come down maybe for the awards as well. And John will take it away from here.
So as we set up, I will ask that when you're called up, you wait until everyone representing your school comes up so we can have a group picture with all the teachers from a certain school. While the first one, we have one teacher from Oldham County Preschool, Tricia Chalfant, Little Wheels, Big Skills, Riding Towards Readiness was the project. Tricia? Thank you, Tricia. Next, we move to Camden Station Elementary. We can start with the project Building Informational Reading Skills Through Multisensory Instruction, Lori Cahoe. And if we can save all applause till everyone from the school is up here as well, thank you. Next, we have Pals in Play, Sarah Heitzman. Building Thinking Classrooms, Fostering Low-Risk Collaboration and Communication, Kelsey Tingley. Sensory Supports Across All Settings, Haley Williams and Julian Nattinger. Congratulations, you all. Next, we'll move to Centerfield Elementary, starting with the project Fostering Academic Success Through Reading Comprehension, Tamara Wright, if you're here. The project Making Math Accessible and Engaging to All Types of Learners, Carrie Stevens. A Space of Our Own, Shauna Stengel. Audiobooks for Kids, Brandon Clark and Margaret Heisenbuttle. Creating an Efficient Fifth Grade Literacy Classroom in the World of Departmentalization, Lizzie Smith. iWords for Reading Success, Allison Dawson. Planting a Kentucky Native Community Garden, Ashley. That is everyone from Centerfield. Good job, Centerfield. Continuing with elementary schools, we'll go to Crestwood Elementary. First project, STEM, Game Changers, Unleashing Creativity Through Game Design, Alexandra Longstreet. Appalachian Music Beyond the Mountains, Mackenzie Green. Turning the Page, Pressing Play, Empowering Readers Through Audio, Nancy Robertson. Sensory Room Reset, Danielle Hardy. Wonder Books, Where Listening Takes You on a Magical Journey, Abby Bean. Those are our winners from Crestwood Elementary. Congratulations. Moving on to Harmony Elementary, we have Empowering Emergent Readers, Enhancing Literacy Through Decodable Readers and Wonder Books, Jessica Bailey. Literacy Lifeline, Elena Crawley and Courtney Curran. Virtual Journeys, Utilizing Virtual Reality for Cultural and Literary Enrichment, Whitney Griffin. Okay, this is, thank you for coming. From Kenwood Station Elementary, Building Thinking Classrooms, Opportunities to Increase Collaboration, Communication, and Engagement in the Elementary Mathematics Classroom, Heather Riblett. Heather is our only winner from Kenwood Elementary. This year, LaGrange Elementary School had more winners than any other school, so bear with me as I run through the list. Time Travel Trunks, Samantha Abercrombie. It's exciting. It is exciting. We have Versa Tiles equals Versatile Learning, Brittany Stevens. Promoting Accelerated Growth Through Hands-On Learning, Vicki Siebert. Lights, Camera, Action, Debbie German. Beyond the Book, Using Relia to Bring Vocabulary and Language to Life, Catherine Mossbrugger and Carla J. Stewart. Play, A Universal Language, Carter Kelly. Science Discovery Kits, Empowering Young Scientists, Lauren Crush. Coding with Microbits, Travis Goff. Library Prowl, The Reading Challenge, Melinda Hadley. And those are our 10 winners from LaGrange Elementary. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. I'm sorry I missed you. Wrapping up elementary schools in Locust Grove Elementary, we have the Regulation Station 2, Shannon Veal, as well as Bridging the Gap Between Phonics, Instruction, and Real-World Experiences Using Text to Make Learning Come to Life, Tammy Nash and Megan Davis. There is no such thing as just a principal. Thank you for coming up. Moving on to middle schools, we have East Oldham Middle School. Can I have a turn? Ceramics, clay, sculpture class, a brand new opportunity for students. Paul Lyle. as well as enhancement of our design thinking class, Janet Dills. Those are representatives from East Oldham Middle School. From North Oldham Middle School, Feel the Heat, Christine Halabinko. She was the sole winner from North Oldham Middle School. Oldham County Middle School. Oh, did I pass? I'm sorry. Oh. Perfect. Welcome. I did not mean to rush that. Let's fall somewhere. That was East Oldham Middle. That was North Oldham. Okay, thank you. From Oldham County Middle School, Functional Cooking Equipment, Kelsey Ware. And that was our only winner from Oldham County Middle School. From South Oldham Middle School, Rendezvous with French, Summer Alexander. From here at Arvin, we have Biomanufacturing, Synthesis, and Purification of Bacterial Proteins Lab, Tanya Burns.
I'm her.
I recognize you.
No pictures, witness protection. She's at the host of National Conference. Thank you all very much. Appreciate you. Thank you. Moving on to North Oldham High School, we have Drunk Busters Alcohol Prevention Goggles, Kelly Isaacs. Playback to Perfection, Amanda Buckles. Creating a Sensory Sensitive Secondary Classroom, Meredith Grace. And we have Expanding Student Appreciation of Cultures, Language, and History through the Choral Singing Medium, Tyler Smith. Those are our representatives from North Oldham High School. From Oldham County High School, the VR Language Lab, Bridging Worlds Through Immersion, Emily Perkins. Emily was our sole winner from Oldham County High School. From South Oldham High School, Social Media Marketing and Event Production, Kenny Burke. Kenny was our only winner from South Oldham High School. Congratulations.
from ECS, Exceptional Children's Services, the Little Spots of Feelings Emotional Regulation Program for ECS students. Taylor Martin. Taylor was our sole winner from ECS. From Oldham County Schools Arts Center, The String Necessities, Elise Gambrell and Catherine Mercer. I've heard it before, just a principal. That's wonderful. Thanks for showing. And that was it from OCS. That was our 47 winners of the 2025 Pyramid Awards. Thank you, everyone, for applying, and congratulations on receiving them. We would ask that Pyramid Award winners, as well as the OSEF board, join us in the lobby for a reception to honor your achievements. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, she knows. Oh, okay.
Somebody out there.
I guess so.
That's my best guess.
Okay.
What do you?
Public expression?
I know.
Okay.
I was wondering about that too. I would hope so. Oh my God. 2 pages?
I think it's, what do y'all want to do, 3 minutes?
When, are you ready?
Hold on.
Are you ready?
Yeah, we'll just give them a minute to get out.
Well, I say read it while they're filing out.
Huh?
I say read it while they're filing out. Read the.
Okay,
Okay.
go ahead.
We're moving on to public expression. Each regular meeting shall include a public comment period of at least 15 minutes. Any board rules and policies regarding conduct during school board meetings shall apply during the public comment period. The chairperson may require the name and address of the speaker. The chairperson may rule on the relevance of the topic to the board's agenda. The chairperson may also establish time limits for speakers as may be required to maintain order and to ensure the expedient conduct of the board's business. The board as a whole shall have the final decision as to the appropriateness of all rulings.
You guys want to do 3 minutes, or? You good with that?
3.
Okay, 3 minutes. We'll start with Mr. Sutton. You're our first speaker. Welcome, Mr. Sutton. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thank
Good.
you. I'll make this really where you can hear me. First of all, you said I couldn't hear.
Suzanne's got the time.
I'm sorry, 3 minutes?
She has your time, yes.
I'll waive it.
It's gonna be a lot quicker.
I will waive it 2 minutes.
Okay. It'll be a lot quicker.
Welcome.
All right, so good afternoon, members of the board, superintendent, and everyone behind me. My name is John Sutton, and as you remember, I spoke last month, along with others, to share concerns about LifeWise Academy and its presence in our public schools. Since then, the issue has garnered a lot of attention and strong opinions. And we recognize it has not been easy for the board. We also respect the seriousness of the decision you're facing and your choice to wait for the AG's guidance before moving forward and making a decision. We respect that. It was great to see the student showcase. The recognitions that followed, those are a reminder of why we are all here, all right? The success and growth of Oldham County students, period. While we remain engaged on the LifeWise issue, we do not want today's comments to distract from celebrating those students and their teachers' achievements. So I invite everyone here, both those that are, opposed to this and those that also are for this thing. We offer them, we're hoping that, I'm asking them to join us in respecting today's focus on today's meeting by not debating LifeWise today, and to support the students being recognized by allowing today's meeting to highlight their achievements without distraction. In my opinion, today's just not the time. Kentucky Citizens for Democracy, Americans United, and the community as a whole will continue to follow the process closely, and we trust that once the AG's opinions are received, the board will engage with the community and move toward a timely decision. Thank you so much for your time and efforts.
Thank you. Denise Watts. Welcome, Denise.
Good afternoon. I am Denise Watts, and let me begin with a hearty welcome to Oldham County to Superintendent Harold. I actually saw you in the hallway at OCH yesterday. Okay. For those who may not know me, I come as a retired public school teacher of, among other subjects, 8th grade U.S. history. I come seminary degreed, licensed, and an ordained former pastor, still active in ministry, and as a substitute teacher in our Oldham County high schools. I am also a home-owning resident of this county and have been since 1998. I continue studying and facilitating classes on the United States Constitution, and I do wish to address SB 19, which allows parents to opt their children into off-campus faith-based or moral instructions during the school day. I would urge you to move forward with implementing this law. From our nation's founding, education has been understood as more than academics. The Northwest Ordinance of 1787 declared that religion, morality, and knowledge are all necessary for good government. James Madison, in the First Amendment debates, made clear that the sole goal of the First Amendment was to prevent the federal government from establishing a national church, while at the same time protecting the free exercise of religion and the rights of conscience. SB 19 honors both principles. It keeps instruction voluntary, off-campus, and fully parent-directed, which avoids any establishment concerns. At the same time, it affirms parents' rights to guide the moral and spiritual development of their own children. The law provides safeguards, background checks, insurance requirements, and parents' consent.
30
so
seconds.
The district
30 seconds.
The district is protected and students are safe. In a time when families are asking for more voice in their children's education, SB 19 is a balanced solution that respects constitutional boundaries, safeguards school operation, and allows parents to partner in shaping the character of the next generation. Please adopt clear, neutral policies so all approved programs meet the same standards of safety and transparency. Doing so will protect our schools while honoring the spirit of freedom
you, Ms.
that
Watts.
has guided American education. Thank you.
Thank you. Josh McMahon. Josh. Welcome. Good.
My name is Josh McMahon, and I'm a citizen of Oldham County, and I'm excited to be here. My mom and wife are public school teachers, so they'd be happy I'm standing up here. Appreciate you guys. When I think of this optional program, I think of the one. I think of the one mom who works 2 jobs and is busy through the week, and so busy that bedtime's hard to manage, let alone a Bible story. I think of the one dad who works most weekends to make ends meet, which leaves no time for church or even quality talks with his son. I think of the one family who wants that grace and forgiveness of Jesus Christ for their children and to bear fruit like self-control, peace, love. And I think of the one mom and dad that can't afford private school or have time for homeschooling that may provide this instruction. LifeWise, as you know, as you just heard, privately funded, off-campus, voluntary, parent approved, right? And the reason I bring up the one is because I was the one. My mom had me when she was 18. She worked 2 jobs while getting her teaching degree. My dad worked 3rd shift at UPS and slept most days. Receiving outside moral instruction like church and Bible stories simply wasn't a possibility for me. And I wish something like LifeWise was around. I accepted Christ at 22, and I'm not a perfect man. But I tell you, Josh with Jesus is better than Josh without, and I think my wife would say the same. My childhood held many regrets that still haunt me today. Regrets like bullying other kids, disobedience at school and home, identity, and not always feeling loved. Hearing the LifeWise truths from the Bible like I'm a masterpiece, Ephesians 2:10, the fruits of the Spirit, I can name them, but they're awesome. And then I'm loved, that for God so loved the world, for God so loved Josh, that he sent his only son to die, and that God has a plan for me, Jeremiah 29:11. Exclusion is a word we hear a lot today. It's defined as providing equal access to resources for those that may be excluded. And the case you know well, Zorick and Clausen, gives a voice to that quiet, lonely child like me that was outnumbered today even. The court agreed that day that the government wasn't establishing or supporting religion by saying yes to off-site religious instruction, as some may argue. It was simply accommodating, as many outside needs are accommodated that my mom told me because she's a teacher as well, tutoring, counseling, speech therapy. By saying yes to LifeWise, you are not endorsing or enforcing religion. You are simply accommodating, as another word I stole from her, and making room constitutionally for what a family may want for their child. In closing, there's much talk about assessing the risk of saying yes to a program like this. I ask you to assess the risk of saying no. Lastly, I'd ask you to think of the one like me in Oldham County. Listen for the quiet ones. I think you'll hear them. And Lord, I know your kingdom come and your will be done. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Sam Hoffman. Welcome, Sam.
Hello. I wrote you guys an email on the 14th, and I just wanted to come and speak it. I'm an Oldham County resident taxpayer. I graduated from Oldham County High School in 2012, and I am here because you guys are voting on whether or not to allow LifeWise into the school system. So thinking about this, I just given the current geopolitical climate, I see no reason to miss a chance to educate the coming generations on the ultimate moral authority who will judge the seen and the unseen. And I've heard many opposing opinions about this. One of those is that I would be up here if you guys were voting on an Islamic or a Buddhist or a Satanist program, that I would be up here with a pitchfork. My response to that is simply that it is a matter of historical fact that much of the modern society we enjoy today is attributed to the same values that LifeWise will be teaching students. And to, Josh said to consider the risk of saying no to this. Look across the pond. Look at what is happening in the United Kingdom. You even have loud atheists like Richard Dawkins who lament the decline of Christian ethos in his own culture. This is an evidence of biblical law of reaping and sowing. So when you vote, when you consider this, you are sowing. I'm here to urge you to sow good seed. Thank you.
Thank you. Casey McCall.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for this opportunity. I love the fact, wow. I love the fact that we live in a world where we can debate passionately important things without violence, freely. I'm here in support of LifeWise Academy. I think that the opponents of LifeWise Academy, and I've read almost all of what they've posted, they have two options when opposing this bill. They can oppose it on the legality of it, as our sister shared first. That doesn't work. That doesn't work in the United States of America. And so they're left with a second option, which is to argue that this type of Bible instruction is bad for students. And that is the argument that I have seen most of all lately. I will say that I believe there's a lot of irony in this approach in making the case that teaching the Bible is dangerous. They're exercising freedoms that that very Bible has established for them. I don't think many people realize this. They're sort of sawing off the branch that they're sitting on. Why do we live in a culture, for example, that values every single child? Think about that. Because the cultures preceding Christianity did not. Historian Tom Holland, not Spider-Man, rode across the Roman world, wailing at the sides of roads or on rubbish tips. Babies abandoned by their parents were a common sight. Others might be dropped down drains, there to perish by the hundreds. Girls in particular were liable to be winnowed ruthlessly. Those who were rescued from the wayside would invariably be raised as slaves. Brothels were full of women who as infants had been abandoned by their parents. His argument, what happened to cause these monstrous attitudes to change? One statement: the emergence of a Christian people, a Bible that teaches that every single person, regardless of disability, deformity, disease, race, sex, no distinction, every human being has been created in the image of God and is worthy of equal dignity and worth. But of course, the opponents of this wouldn't want to teach our children that truth. Why are we even sitting here talking about public education?
30 seconds.
In the United States of America, it's because Christians decided that public education was necessary in order to teach the Bible. And so I just want to say in closing that we should want our children to live in a world where they understand the source of these truths. We should certainly want them to learn that no matter what they've done, how much they've messed up, there is a God who loves them and offers them redemption and forgiveness through his Son who died on the cross to save them. And that's what they'll learn in the Bible. Thank you.
Thank you, Casey. Mike Bathrick. Mike Bathrick. That's all right. Welcome.
Mike Bathrick from beautiful downtown LaGrange, Kentucky. And I want to take you back to 1961, the year that the Detroit Tigers won 101 games. Norman Cash, the first baseman, hit .361. They had other all-stars, but they came in second place to the New York Yankees. That broke my heart. But my dad said, 100 years from now, that won't matter. And it don't matter even today. But something else more important happened to me that year. I was in junior high, and my parents sent me to a camp. It wasn't church, it wasn't Sunday school, it wasn't vacation Bible school. They sent me to a camp, and there I heard that I had broken at least one of God's laws, and I knew that. I'd broken some of my parents' laws. I heard that there was a punishment that needed to be paid for me breaking at least one of God's laws. I also heard that Jesus, the Creator, God the Son, came to earth for the purpose of redeeming me back to himself. There in 1961, I asked, they told me if I called on the Lord to save me from the punishment of my sins, I would be saved from my sins. So I did that. I did the calling. Jesus did the saving. My parents had the freedom in 1961 to send me to that camp. Some of my friends didn't go. They're still my friends. We had a senior, high school reunion about a week and a half ago. They're still my friends today. I'm thankful that my parents did have that freedom then, and I just hope that the school board will consider voting in favor of LifeWise so that these young people could have that same freedom, the parents could have that freedom to allow their children to be exposed to the gospel today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Pamela Day. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, school board members, and thank you, Superintendent, for allowing me to speak today. A July article in the Kentucky Lantern titled "Public School Enrollment Continues to Fall" stated that only 24% of students are satisfied with public education. A recent USA Today headline stated that U.S. student scores have hit new lows. As of 2022, 69% of public schools reported increased depression and suicidal thoughts among students. Reading those statistics, one can understand why parents are increasingly choosing different options for their children's education. What if there was a program that could help public school students thrive and was free to children, parents, and the school district? LifeWise Academy is one such program. A Thomas P. Miller and Associates study showed that attending a LifeWise Academy improves school attendance and behavior. Furthermore, of 900 educators and 3,000 parents surveyed, 95% of educators see benefits for students and schools, while 99% of parents would recommend LifeWise to others. Teachers observed increased student confidence, a greater sense of belonging, and improved compassion among participants. After learning about LifeWise, I started investigating the program. I received permission to visit a class in session. What did I see? Children singing as they exited the red LifeWise school bus. Of the 600 students attending this elementary school, over 400 were enrolled in the local LifeWise program. Each class of students came once a week for a well-organized and fun-packed session filled with activities before loading up and returning to school within the hour. Please investigate the benefits of LifeWise Academy for yourself. Go online at lifewise.org and watch the 3-minute videos. During my visit to a LifeWise Academy, I watched fun activities and caring teaching done well. I saw joy on children's faces and experienced it myself just watching. And if I may turn to the audience. Upon approval, parents and children will be invited to a Try LifeWise Day. Come with your questions and experience for yourself what I saw with my very own eyes.
Thank you, Pamela. Jenny Bergren, you're good? Are you sure? Yes. Okay. Laura O'Brien. Welcome, Laura.
Before you start timing me, I was just going to say I wrote this expecting there to be a room full of opposition, so it was sort of written in with that in mind. So just pretend they're here.
Sure thing.
Okay, I'm here to support LifeWise, and it's because of something that hasn't been brought up yet. You see, there's been a lot of discussion from the opposition about things that are actually irrelevant. Everyone's opinion about what LifeWise is and does is actually irrelevant because it's not the district's job to condone or condemn a moral instruction program. Their entire involvement in this whole ordeal is simply to release and readmit students to approved adults. It's not their job to judge the content of the program. This type of situation is already happening in our district. There's an orthodontist office that picks up kids from school to take them to appointments during the school day using the orthomobile. The schools have no say-so over which orthodontist parents choose. They don't look at the financial records of the office. They don't grill them about their beliefs on Invisalign versus braces. All they do is release and readmit the students in order to accommodate the family. That's the extent of their involvement, and their opinion of the dental office is irrelevant. Now, for all the naysayers who want to cite separation of church and state and say this doesn't apply, you might be interested to know that the dental office actually plays Christian music. So, with every adjustment and every checkup, kids are being subjected to Jeremy Camp, Hillsong, and Phil Wickham. I bet they even come back to school singing Amazing Grace. But all the while, I haven't heard one person complain about it. In fact, parents absolutely love having this option for their kids. In a letter Clint Elliott wrote to our school board, he said, quote, "Accordingly, the Supreme Court has made clear that release time programs do not violate the Establishment Clause and do not violate any notion of separation of church and state. The Supreme Court explained that even though a program may be unwise and imprudent from an educational or community viewpoint, it is not the role of the law to examine the wisdom of the system, its efficiency from an educational point of view, and the political considerations which have motivated its adoption or rejection in some communities. Those matters are of no concern when viewing the legal right of release time programming, end quote. So what does this mean? It means that unless you plan to sign your kid up, everyone's opinion about what LifeWise is actually irrelevant. The only thing that matters is what the parents choose for their kids and that the district respects their right to participate.
30 seconds.
Thank you, ma'am. Just as we allow the Orthomobile to support families' dental needs, we should also allow LifeWise to support families' spiritual needs, even if some people disagree. So I'm asking you, please support the law and approve this release time. Thank you.
Thanks, Laura. That concludes public expression. And I think the only thing we have left are information items. Is that right?
Yes. You'll see attached, there is not a preschool report, but there is an energy report for your review and an ORR report.
Thank you for that. And can I get a motion to adjourn? Made by Ms. Hunley, seconded by Ms. Sheffer. All those in favor? That's 5-0. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.